call this meeting to order. Personnel and Higher Education. First order of business, approve the minutes of last month's meeting. Motion by Supervisor Merlino, second by Supervisor Lowe. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Okay, privilege of floor. Dr. Duffy, do you have anything to add to?
I don't really have a lot to say, except thank you for forwarding the budget for public comment in July, and we appreciate your support, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I don't have any anybody?
Short
They're
presentation.
flying, yeah. Well, we did a lot. I thought we were a pretty comprehensive update in June, and it's summer, and so things are a little steady, and construction is just about wrapping up, and the culinary project is still wrapping up, so we're in good shape.
Yeah.
Good work.
Thank you.
And thank you for the tour of the facilities. It was
Okay.
very good.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Just a quick way, maybe if you could explain the two-county process. For example, if one county looking to make some kind of adjustment, as I remember, this happens almost on the same day or within days of one another.
Correct.
What would be the process of that?
So the process for both counties is just as you did in June. Washington County and Warren County passed a resolution to move the budget request forward for public comment at your July meeting, which is on the same day. So at that July meeting, there'll be an opportunity for the public to comment. The college will attend both meetings, and we usually try to coordinate it so we can get to one and then the other for any questions that people might have and a vote. And at that point, barring anything unusual, then the budget would be hopefully passed, and then we submit that. The final step in our budget process is it must go to SUNY in August for their final approval. I'm not sure if that was what you were looking for.
Yeah, I mean, that's the process. I guess I was thinking more in terms of, what if there's, it's important both counties are concurrent.
Correct.
On this one.
So just so you know, we're meeting with the Washington County Finance Committee at their meeting in a couple weeks to have further discussion and answer any outstanding questions. I think we have some differing opinions on the board as what we've been told. So if for some reason that the county votes to not approve either their contribution, which would be one aspect, or if they don't approve the budget, then we have some challenges. If they don't approve the amount, it does also impact the chargeback rate, and so everything the county contributes to that chargeback rate, so it has a domino effect for the institution. So we're feeling pretty positive about where Washington County sits, and certainly respect the work that the chairman is doing in terms of trying to be sensitive to their taxpayers. He's doing his job, I'm doing my job. And so I think, though, we'll have an opportunity to talk it through a little bit more at their Finance Committee meeting and talk about the what-ifs and the scenarios that if they chose not to support it, what impact that would have on the college.
Last year, are they after our meeting? Or were they the day before? Or is it almost the same
It's the same day. It's the exact same day.
Same time?
Same day, same time.
Oh, I see.
Different places. So we'll be, we coordinate usually with each county to ask if they can move up the vote so we can be there, and then we leave and come to the other county.
Under the hypothetical where the other county did have an issue and you had to go back and revise the tentative budget, would you need to come back to us for another resolution? You would? Okay.
Which means then we're not, our fiscal year starts September 1st, so it puts us in a bind.
Okay. But under the scenario that they didn't, that there are no changes, then no further action from this board.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. July is the vote, and,
Okay.
and if everything goes well, then we just continue to move forward.
Okay. So we'll keep in touch.
Yes. Yeah.
Any other questions? Doctor.
Great.
Okay, 2A, request for a new contract with Glens Hospital Center for Occupational Health to provide medical exams for police and patrol officers. Somebody wish to speak to that, or? Yes, we have a motion. Motion by Supervisor Loeb. We have a second by Supervisor McDevitt. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 2B, the vacancies are on there, and I asked them to add a column whether they retired or resigned or promotion or other, and I hope you have better vision than I, but you need to read that chart before you come to the meeting, I would think. But you need 2020 or better. But I mean, everything's on there now, and it gives you a little better idea if people are leaving or moving up. Any questions on the chart? That's one I would say read ahead of time. Okay, request to amend Resolution 559 of 2012 to make changes to wellness program. I'll ask Jackie, or can somebody speak to that one?
Sure, I can.
Okay.
The previous resolution was from 2012. We just changed some language to de-identify any specific vendors and instead changed the language to our benefit broker, our insurance carrier. The previous resolution also limited the number of people on the committee, the general employees on the committee to 4. We don't see a reason necessarily to limit it to 4. We have a lot of departments and a lot of locations, so we opened that number up. And then you did insert a sentence that the committee could, at some point in the future, request funds if they felt it was necessary to incentivize some of the programs, because there was specific language before that said there's no expense incurred ever. So we just made it a little flexible, but it still says we would have to go to the board of supervisors for approval for any funding request. So it's just time for an update.
Any questions on the wellness program resolution? Motion to amend Resolution 559 of 2012 by Supervisor Bramer. We have a second by Supervisor Simpson. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Referrals from Criminal Justice and Public Safety. First one is request to create the new position of on-call pay, annual salary of $33,832. Includes fringe benefits retroactive to January 1, 2018. The on-call pay provision was authorized by Resolution 294 of 2017, but funding was inadvertently omitted from the 2018 budget because this position was not created in salary schedule. I know this was discussed at Criminal Justice. We have a motion by Supervisor Simpson. We have a second by Supervisor McDevitt. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Support Services, County Attorney. Request to create a position to fill the new position of Legal Assistant Real Estate, annual salary of $40,000 to $50,000 depending on experience, effective July 23rd, 2018. I'm going to ask Mary to just expand on this position just a little bit.
Sure. So I'm just requesting to create and fill, it's going to be a new position. Every year we do the foreclosure process in our office, and currently we contract out for these services. They're abstract services. So Saratoga County actually keeps that in-house, and they have a position which is created just to do those abstracts in the whole foreclosure process. So I am asking to create that position to keep it in our office instead of contracting out for it. They will do the entire foreclosure process, the abstracting, the mailings, the notices, every aspect of it. They will work with the treasurer's office and the real property office. So I don't need any money for it in my budget. I will just take what we use to contract out for it and move it into salaries, and that's basically it.
We currently budget around $80,000 for the foreclosure. This should show us a savings of anywhere $15,000 to $20,000 in the future by doing it in-house. Yes, Claudia?
That's great to hear about the savings and probably some efficiencies. I just am curious how we still have that money in our budget. Didn't we have to pay for abstracting this year already?
So the abstracting process, we do it leading up to the foreclosure, and then we start it again for the next year in August or September. So we have to budget for both years in one budget. So we've only used it going up to the foreclosure, so we still have that money that we would be using in August, September, October, November, and December. So I'll just transfer that. And by the time I hire someone, post it and hire, it's probably going to be closer to December.
Supervisor Simpson, are you making that a motion?
Yes.
Okay, I had one question before.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm clear in my mind. So we spent $80,000 to outsource it?
We don't spend $80,000. That's what was budgeted.
What do we spend to outsource this service right now?
In 2016, we spent $67,880. In 2017, we spent $50,030. It all depends on the number of abstracts we need.
Okay, so just taking the average there would be about 58,000 would be average. We hire, so basically, I'm not sure where you say it's going to save us 15,000, but what am I missing, Mike? Go ahead.
Well, what happens is that every time somebody's delinquent in their taxes, and we do an abstract on their property, we bill them for that abstract fee. So it actually isn't coming out of county coffers. The person who is defaulting their taxes is paying for that abstract.
So what's our actual cost for this outside service?
Well, what we're proposing is to, instead of hiring a contractor and having them pay $225 per abstract. Is that fair?
It was
No.
No, Let me interrupt. All right. What we're proposing is to take that $225 and hire somebody to do the work in-house. Not just the abstract itself, but the entire foreclosure process. And what this will do is, it's also going to free up a staff person in Mary's office that's actually doing the work now to do more legal work for Mary, and then we'll have this position. Plus, the efficiency is going to be tenfold.
Okay, so I'm still trying to get a handle on that. I'm not quite buying that right now. We're spending about $58,000 to service this. We hire somebody, and what's the number, Mary, you said you wanted to hire, Matt?
Between 40 and 50.
All right, so it would be 50, knowing how we operate up here. So 50 plus benefits and the whole 9 yards. You can add another probably at least 50-something% additional benefits and retirement, all that stuff. So now you're looking at about $75,000 at least. And so you say we're going to save $15,000. We're currently spending about $58,000. I don't see. I think we're upside down on this. I just want to make sure that, you know, when you say you're saving $15,000, I think we're going to spend $15,000 or $20,000 more. I don't see how that's savings. I just don't see that. Are you adding in all the benefits and so forth that a county employee gets?
So if they started at the base salary, which is 41,
Or 50, because we usually go high around here, as we know. The airport guy asked for, we said 75, we gave 80, so let's be honest here.
I only did the math on 41, and that would be 56 with benefits.
Okay, so now try 50, now you're at 60-something with benefits. So my point is, it's not a savings, it's going to be additional dollars. Let's just be clear on that.
Well, that's not going to be additional dollars, because the cost is going to be paid for by the people who don't pay their taxes. There is no money coming out of the county coffers to pay this contract. That money is every time such an abstract done for $225. We, in my office, add that to the amount of taxes that are due on a piece of property. When the person comes in, they pay that. They pay the abstracting fee, they pay a posting fee, they pay publication fees. All of these fees are paid for by the property owner when they come in and pay up their taxes. So there's no money coming out of county coffers to pay for this service now. It's a pass-through. In other words, her budget is set up to have that $80,000 in there, and if she spends it all, she spends it all, but we get the money back from the taxpayer. So all we're saying is rather than taking that out to an outside contractor, keep it in-house and get the benefit of having one person do everything for the foreclosure, for the abstract, for the mailings, for the postings. This, you have no idea. This is a full-time job. Should get his doing the foreclosure. You have no idea the amount of work that's involved.
Let me just get the second on this, and we'll have more discussion. Was Gene, were you seconding it?
Yeah, I was second.
Okay, now, let's finish the discussion. Now we got to follow procedures.
So $67,000 is the pass through the outside agency.
Right.
We get reimbursed for all that.
Right.
And you're saying if we put a full-time employee on, we'll be reimbursed for all that.
Right.
Claudia?
I have two questions. Is that entirely true though, Mike? Because, I mean, we don't always get paid back everything, right? There's people who, like, let's say it gets sold in the foreclosure for $10. That piece of property doesn't
Then that
exactly
abstract fee
make
does
up.
not get paid for it.
Right, so it's not exactly like
So
you're
we
saying,
get-
but we get the money out of the foreclosure. Generally, we make enough to cover everybody's costs. My other question is, if we're gonna charge that, how are we setting the rate if we're no longer going out with a contractor? We're just gonna keep it at $225?
No, what we're doing is, and Mary and I have just had this discussion, is we're gonna look back over the last 3 to 5 years as to how many abstracts we've done, because you have to project into the future, because you can't know exactly how many we're gonna have to do. But if we can get a good track record for the last 3 to 5 years, then I'll do us some calculations and see where we need to be, so that I make sure that we charge enough the first year or so we got a little buffer in there, so that we're not short, so make sure we get it.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. We have any other discussion? Let's vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Request to create and fill the position of Secretary of the County Attorney temporarily, annual salary of $45,084, prorated, not to exceed 32 hours a week, effective June 23rd, 2018. Again, we have our one of our current... Yes, Bill?
I'll move that.
You moving it? Do we have a second? A second by Supervisor Simpson. One of our current secretaries is retiring in January? December. And we want to keep her on a temporary basis, and so they could train a new person in that office, right? And the money's in the budget? We have money in the budget to do this. The problem we ran into last time is when we made the change from the county attorney, the 2 secretaries left at the same time, and it creates a big void down there if you have to train somebody new. And the current secretary is retiring. She's been a county employee on and off for a long time. You had a question, Claudia?
Yes, thanks. So this is to bring her on part-time starting in January of 2019?
No, it's now.
Someone on now?
Now, and then to
Where
go
she-
out and hire a new legal secretary.
And that person will be part-time? Or she's gonna go part-time until she retires? I'm sorry.
She'll go at least 32 hours, up to 32 hours. She doesn't want to work more than 32 hours, and her role will be to train the new person.
Right now?
Correct.
Yes.
And then she's...
And then she's
done in
out,
December.
she'll go out the door in December. And I would assume that if the person came up to speed sooner, she might go earlier? Or is it her goal to stay till December?
I mean, I'd have to have a discussion with her
Yeah.
about it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay. Change the language, amend Resolution 193 of 2012 to change the language concerning designated alternate for park operations and management committee from Superintendent of Public Works to a member of the Board of Supervisors to be designated by the chairman of the board. You want to just expand on that just
Yeah,
briefly?
the Park O&M Committee was established by Resolution 193 of 2012, and for some reason at that time, we put in, or language was put in that said the Superintendent of Public Works could serve as an alternate committee member in the absence of regular Warren County representatives to make quorum. And that kind of presents a conflict of interest since the superintendent is the one who establishes the agenda and drives the agenda. So we're thinking that if we change this to an additional a member of the board that the chairman will designate, it also helps us to make sure we have a quorum, because we've been running into problems with Park O&M where it's a small committee, we just don't have enough people. There's only 6 on it total. There's 4 from the county and 2 from the village, and so we need 4 people to make the quorum, and we've been having a lot of trouble with that. So we're hoping this change will clean up the process and help us have a quorum for future meetings.
Motion by Supervisor Mendevis, second by Supervisor Molino. Any further discussion? Yes, Supervisor
Does
Brown.
that mean, Amanda, that the chairman could designate someone for a particular meeting, or is...
No, it'll be someone, we're on the standing committee list, the way it looks now, where it has the members at the Park O&M Special, so it's at the bottom.
Mhm.
It would have your regular committee meetings, and then it'll be one, I believe the intent is to designate actually Mrs. Frazier to be the alternate. She was on the committee before, she was removed for this year. And honestly, we didn't pull the resolution, so we didn't realize the superintendent was on there. That was from 2012. It was kind of, we just put it on the standing committee list and hadn't been keeping track of it. So when they were reappointed this year, we appointed new people, but we're just having trouble making sure everyone's here. So I believe the intent is to make Mrs. Frazier the designated alternate. She thought she was on the committee and has been coming to meetings, and then when she gets here, realizes she's not on and sits on the sidelines. So I believe that's the intent.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next is to appoint Supervisor Wild as remaining vacant representative on the Warren, Washington County IDA. Matt?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to recommend to the Personnel Committee that you support appointing Mike Wild. I think that Supervisor Mike Wild has a good background in business, and he's forward-thinking, and I think he'd be a good addition to our board.
Motion by Supervisor McDevitt, second by Supervisor Loeb. Any discussion? I'm not quite sure about this. Yes?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to thank Supervisor Simpson, but he is a great salesman. And I'm curious if I might be able to get some direction before I go into the deep unknown about this from the committee and maybe some other board members in terms of what the expectations are.
Your direction is the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna need to go online and take the ABO required training, which will explain the authority that the IDA has from the state. And then you're going to provide your experience, and you're going to look at business proposals, people that are bringing maybe a company to our region wants to buy a lot in our industrial park, and going to state how many jobs they're going to provide, and you have the authority to extend certain benefits as a member of the IDA, So
I'll have work to do.
You'll have work to do. It's a lot of work, but it's fun. I'm still smiling.
He's trying to sell you. You have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next, I forgot to do the Resolution 262 of 2018 amending the standard workday resolution, and copies in your file. That's what.
I'll move that.
Motion by Supervisor Loeb, second by Supervisor Molino. Any discussion? Yes, go ahead.
Who was late turning in their paperwork?
Huh? Late?
I don't know. I asked who was late turning in their paperwork.
Oh, I don't know.
Supervisor Merlino.
You can read it, it says it there.
I couldn't find it.
We have a motion and a second, and this is what's used to build up your retirement credits.
And I missed it, especially the last 3 months.
Okay, let's have order.
It's
All
an
those in
issue.
favor?
I will resign.
Opposed? Carried. Okay.
Questions?
All right.
After the board meeting.
Oh, the next one is to talk about the Employee Month program. I'm going to ask the administrator to discuss that.
I think it may have been a while since the last time this was discussed, so I'll just briefly review. The idea out there was to have an Employee of the Month chosen by supervisors. Not sure whether that would be the entire board or a subcommittee thereof, or perhaps this committee. I would leave that to the discretion of the board and who wants to be involved. But some of the things that they thought about doing would be to have DPW create a sign, Employee of the Month parking, that would be moved around to wherever appropriate, so that that individual had preferential parking for the month. I think that's very doable. Certificate of appreciation presented to the employee at the board meeting, again, very doable. There was talk about establishing an Employee of the Month board somewhere in this building where the public has access, perhaps down by DMV. Amanda and her team were going to look into that. I think that is also doable. There was also talk of doing a monetary award. The county attorney's office sought out an opinion from the state, and the guidance that we got was as long as a monetary award is less than $75, that it shouldn't be an issue. Probably shouldn't come from county coffers, because it would constitute a gift, which we're not supposed to do. So the proposal that had been out there was for supervisors to sort of, I think it would amount to $30 a year, would get us up to $600, which divided out by 12 months would give the Employee of the Month a $50 award. Now, far be it from me to commit you each to spending $30, but it's out there as an option if you want to consider it. Now, the process that would be followed would, we would open this up to department heads. Any department head who would like to nominate one of their employees as Employee of the Month would submit an application. I'm going to suggest having applications due on the day of the board meeting prior to where the Employee of the Month would be honored, so that we have the better part of a month to do the review. And maybe some department heads will participate, maybe others will not participate as frequently, but we'll have the idea of getting all those applications in, giving whoever is going to review them from the board the opportunity to do so and to vote. And we can tabulate votes, and we can, let you all know who won, so to speak. And there was also a proposal initially to have to honor a department head 4 times a year. I think that's probably a little too much considering the ratio of department heads to employees. I would suggest maybe once a year to focus on a department head. Perhaps we could pick a designated month each year where we focus on a department head. That's basically the discussion that's been had to date, as well as my input on it.
Now, are we looking for any particular items for the employee to do, or are you going to set up any criteria that they have to come in with an idea that saved us money in the budget, or is it just how do you think, or just anything they submit that the committee will choose?
I had envisioned a letter from the department head stating why this employee should be considered Employee of the Month, and perhaps it's because of some cost savings initiative that this employee came out with, perhaps a safety initiative in certain departments, perhaps there was a disaster, God forbid, that was about to happen that an employee caught and saved people from some personal harm. So I would leave it to the discretion of the department heads to, if they want to take the opportunity to single out somebody for exemplary service, whatever that exemplary service means, that we leave them the discretion to do so.
Any other discussion? Ben, did you have a question?
Yeah, I might recommend that we at least list some of the criteria or recommendations.
Okay.
For what we're looking for. I know in a lot of departments, morale building, individuals who set up, bring in a dish type of events, really goes a long way to strengthen relationships within departments.
Okay.
The list is on, just recommend the list.
Sure.
I think I need a motion by the committee to move forward with this. A motion by Supervisor Simpson. Do we have a second? Second by Supervisor Bramer. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Yeah.
Aye.
Supervisor Bramer.
Oh, I was just brainstorming in my head about maybe we could put our $600 towards like a party once a year for all the employees of the month and the department head that we select. I don't know.
We do
But I
something.
definitely think we should go forward with something.
Yeah. No, it would be good. Thank you. Okay, Ethics Board, Mary, did we get any more applications?
We haven't gotten anyone that said yes yet.
Okay.
Oh, I had given you, I don't know if I copied Mary, Diana Palmer
Oh, yeah.
from the city.
We were checking out whether, is she a member of
She
the?
is not a member of any of the committees.
I sent her a letter.
We did.
We have not heard back from her.
Oh, okay.
To follow up?
She was interested. I'll ask her, who should she get back to?
Well, the Mary.
Mayor, okay, attorney, sure.
Okay. And please, we still have some vacancies, so we need to fill those up, hopefully by next month. The vacancies are attached, and they've been approved by committee. And are there any discussions on the vacancies? Yes.
Do we know anything more about the sheriff's office filling the positions for the schools?
Yeah, I missed the criminal justice, so I didn't hear any more about that. I'm sorry I missed that meeting. Anybody who was there?
Still working on it.
Still working.
Yeah. At the meeting, he mentioned that he's beating the bushes and working all of his contacts to find more retired individuals to fill those positions.
Okay, right now I need a, I would ask for a short executive session to talk about the employment history of a particular individual. Motion by Supervisor Simpson, second by Supervisor Molino. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. It will be very short. You want to make it down? Session, we discussed filling the position of assistant to county administrator at a salary of $72,342. Does somebody want to make that a motion? Motion by Supervisor Simpson, second by Supervisor Molino. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. And that does it for personnel. Do we need to adjourn or we go right in? Adjourn. We need to adjourn. Motion by Supervisor Simpson, second by Supervisor McDevitt. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
What about these other vacancies?
We went over that.
That's already been done by
Is that part of
committee.
that motion?
No, that's just for your...
We don't have to vote on it.
That's correct. Okay. All right, thank you. Next, finance.
Thank you. Thank you to the committee. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.